In this video, we are going to be looking at the small intestines and the large intestines. Now, this video is going to be a little bit more detailed than the other videos. As you see, I have 4 different hotspots for you. Unfortunately, none of them are on the model. I had such good luck up until this point with getting them to stick recently. So we are going to look at this model. So the intestines are going to make up most of your abdominal cavity. So we have the liver up on the upper right side. We have the stomach on the left side. There's the spleen, isn't it cute? The small intestines, named for their small diameter, and the large intestines are going to make up most of the abdominal cavity. So this is what we're going to be looking at. This is not the same model we're going to look at. We're actually going to look at the model that was pulled out of that mannequin. But the intestines have 3 parts of the small intestine: the duodenum, which is being shy, hiding behind the transverse colon, the jejunum, and the ileum. Then you have the cecum, the vermiform appendix. You have the ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and then this S-shaped sigmoid colon. Again, grab it, rotate it, follow along. This just makes it spin around and around. Slowly left, slowly right. So here are the intestines. We can see the jejunum hiding out behind there, and we'll turn it around to find the jejunum. And I want to draw your attention to this. This is very exciting. It's part of the mesenteries. It got promoted to organ about 5 years ago. It's very excited about that. And this is probably the lesser omentum. It's either the lesser or the greater. Since the stomach is free on this model and liver, I'm guessing it is the lesser omentum. And that's covering the intestines. Now, it's actually super cool. It has all these blood vessels and lymphatic vessels in it. So that is why it's on this model. So the first part of the small intestine is the duodenum. And the stomach would be sitting right here. The pyloric sphincter would be draining chyme in there. So let's spin this around. And here's the duodenum. The duodenum is about 9 inches long. And one thing about the duodenum is that it has circular folds and no villi on the circular folds, because you're only getting chemical digestion. The chyme is coming in. We have a structure right there called the major duodenal papilla. In case you haven't watched the pancreas video, here it is blown up. There's the major duodenal papilla. The main pancreatic duct is dropping pancreatic juice out here. The bile duct is dropping bile, and it's all going to mix with the chyme, and chemical digestion is going to finish. Now, the duodenum is about 9 inches long. It ends about right here. Unfortunately, it's not on either side of this model, on the duodenal jejunal flexure. So here's the stomach. There's the pyloric sphincter. The duodenum, major duodenal papilla, everybody. And it ends right there at the duodenal jejunal flexure. Now, for the gross anatomy, you can't really tell the difference between the jejunum, which is the next about 15 to 20 feet, and the ileum, which is the remainder of the small intestine. They differ histologically, so watch my histology videos, but you cannot tell the difference just looking at it. However, I know that if I put a sticker up here, that's probably the jejunum. If I put the sticker right there, that's definitely the ileum. Look, it's draining into the cecum right there. So that's what I usually do on the lab tests. I will point somewhere up here for the jejunum, somewhere down here. That's very obviously the ileum. And what happens during the remainder of the small intestines, it's about 31 feet, 3 inches, is food is chemically digested and absorbed. So by the time you get here, you have some electrolytes, mainly sodium. You have water, you have undigested fiber. So we are now going to look at this junction between the cecum and the ileum. And here it is. So this is the jejunum. I actually spent a long time debating, are these supposed to be villi, are these supposed to be circular folds? The villi would be on the circular fold, so I labeled them circular folds. I would not ask you this one way or the other. And it drains into this valve. It's not a sphincter muscle, it's a valve. It's the ileum, cecum valve. So this is the cecum down here. We don't really have a very impressive cecum. The cecum serves to ferment fiber in other animals. and they have a lot larger cecums than we do. We do have fermentation in our cecum and in our colon. Now, there's a little opening right here, and this is the opening to the appendix. Now, in some cases, there is a valve. It is called Gerlach's valve, named after Josef von Gerlach, and I'm probably completely butchering his name. That's why I brought up his Wikipedia page. So this would be the opening to the appendix. Again, I didn't label the valve. It actually looks like there's a valve on this model, but I decided to just leave it opening of the appendix. Then we have the colon. So this is the ascending colon, because food is going to come through the ileum, or what's left, unprocessed fiber and waste. It is going to be fermented here, and then it's going to slowly move up. So here's the cecum. The ascending colon is going to go up, but I want to point out the appendix. It's called the vermiform appendix because it looks like a worm, and it used to be thought it was just vestigial. It doesn't do anything. It turns out it actually holds good beneficial bacteria for repopulation when you have mass purges of the colon. And it has lots and lots and lots of lymph nodules. You remember how much I like the lymph nodules, right? So there's a ton of lymph nodules here in the appendix. So this is the ascending colon. The processed food, or the food, is going to go up, or the waste products, and it reaches this curve. Now this curve has two names. The first name is the right colonic flexure. I hate that name. So what I have to do is I have to turn this around and go, oh, this really is on my right side, not my left side. Now, I know the liver is sitting right on top of it, so the other name is the hepatic flexure. I like that so much better. So, ascending colon, hepatic flexure. Then we have this part of the colon. It goes in a transverse plane, so they called it the transverse colon. And it ends over here, where the spleen would be. So this bend has two names. It is the splenic flexure, named for the beautiful spleen that should be right there. Or, I have to spin it, the left colonic flexure. Guess which name I like better. Now, we have the descending colon here. The descending colon is going to come. And then, see how this makes an S? That's the sigmoid colon right there. Now, the sigmoid colon empties into the rectum. And then we have the anal canal right there. So that is the structures of the colon and the small intestine. Now, the sigmoid colon here and the rectum are on the pelvis models for the reproductive and urinary systems. So make sure you spot those on there in our next couple of labs. And lastly, I want to point out these are some of the mesenteries also. Lots of blood vessels, lots of lymph vessels in there, and lots of lymph nodules are in here too. So this also got promoted to organ status. Yay, mesenteries, you're an organ. Congratulations. So that is the structure, and we can't forget the pancreas and the hepatic portal vein. My favorite portal vein. So look at the model. Try to find all the structures. Again, lots of different views for the hotspots, and thank you.